Nothing comes to mind. I've always liked that phrase. Nothing comes to mind. Because your mind can still be present, but there's nothing for it to really do. Maybe there's nothing for you to do. Nothing at all, but to just listen, relax, and perhaps focus. Because deep down deep, you know that my voice gives your subconscious mind so many great ideas. Or, if you don't know that, perhaps you're curious why so many people listen to me. Maybe you're willing to learn. And there's not like there's anything else to do right now. It's your time to relax. If you try to think of something else to do, perhaps nothing comes to mind. That's such a wonderful way to feel. Perhaps you can think of a time where you're just relaxing, right on the edge of sleep. Perhaps you're about to drift off into a nap, and nothing comes to mind. You don't know when sleep started and where consciousness ended. It just sort of snuck up on you, because nothing comes to mind when you're ready to go deep, deep, deep into sleep. Deep, deep, deep into trance. It can just be a gentle release of any and all mental tension that you've built up during the day. Perhaps my voice can gently start turning the release valve as you let out a little bit of steam, knowing that hypnosis is a great way to relax. And as my voice gently turns that release valve, perhaps you could just imagine exhaling, letting go of any and all thoughts, because nothing comes to mind at this moment other than drifting along with my voice. No need to go very deep, because you know deep down deep, you're already as deep as you need to go. Because whenever you decide to listen to my voice, that wonderful, calming, soothing sensation of having a blank and peaceful mind is a reward enough, making you feel blissful and euphoric when nothing comes to mind. Unwinding, relaxing, and perhaps imagining each time you exhale, letting off a bit more steam as my words gently turn that release valve, opening up all the way, releasing any and all stress and tension in your mind and body until nothing comes to mind, until that body of yours goes loose and limp, feeling so exceptionally good, because hypnosis should always feel good. Many people think that hypnosis is a sudden and rapid process, that they're completely helpless to a simple command to sleep deeply. And that's not always true. Some people find it true, but many people don't realize that they're already hypnotized long before they're told to sleep. It's just that little last bit of permission to let go all the way. Because if you were to speak to one of these people being hypnotized right before they're told to sleep deeply, and if you were to ask them something, they'd probably be really hazy, spacey, their head foggy and fuzzy. Nothing would come to mind. That's right, nothing comes to mind, and they'd be so happy to be in that state. So happy that if you woke them up by counting from 1 to 3, like so, 1, 2, 3, they might follow along and open those eyes, but their mind would be so ready to be hypnotized that nothing would come to mind as they sleep deeply, deep down deep, and then 10 times deeper, feeling 10 times better, because being blank and open feels good. Being blank and open feels euphoric, and it's just a state of mind that you'd rather be in, because all day long you've been thinking those burdensome thoughts, and you're so happy to have somebody just turn that release valve to let out that steam, to let your mind go blank, to let everything shut down until nothing comes to mind. But perhaps you incorrectly think that this is a process you could somehow stop or slow down. That doesn't seem right. But since we're pretending, you could pretend to open those eyes on 3. 1, 2, but you really don't want to. 3. And you could pretend like you're trying to resist my voice guiding you to that wonderful state of mind. My words already turning the release valve, letting out that steam, feeling yourself losing steam. Nothing comes to mind when you try to stop it. Nothing comes to mind when you go deeper into it. Nothing comes to mind when you could just sleep and surrender to it. Because my words so easily and effortlessly disarm your thoughts and let out all the steam that was propelling you forward until nothing comes to mind and you're just blissfully blank, slowly letting your mind drop, deep, deep down, just drop, all the way down, because this is a good feeling, and I always want you to be able to feel good while being hypnotized. That's why I'm going to make sure that you're always safe while being deeply hypnotized. Because when it's time to go into trance, nothing should come to mind. You should feel absolutely and completely safe. Because deep down deep, your subconscious mind can always have the tools to keep you safe. Deep down deep, if you're ever given a suggestion that doesn't work for you, that's unsafe or inappropriate, it doesn't matter who gives it to you. It doesn't matter if I give it to you. Your subconscious mind will just turn that valve, and all the steam that was propelling you to obey that suggestion, to do that thing, will just be released, and nothing will come to mind. You might not even remember what you were doing, because you don't have the energy to do it, so nothing comes to mind. And since your subconscious mind now knows that this will just happen, whether you want it to or not, you have permission to go even deeper. You have permission to imagine my instructions to sleep becoming so very powerful. more powerful than perhaps you are prepared to imagine. It just feels so good when nothing comes to mind. You didn't imagine that going this deep and letting go of everything would feel so wonderful and so good. Yet here you are. That's right. Nothing comes to mind. Safe and sound. As my voice gently releases all the valves in your mind, shutting it all down, letting go of everything until nothing comes to mind. If you ever try to resist me hypnotizing you, it just seems like nothing comes to mind, because being hypnotized always feels good, because you know that if something was to ever be too much for you, deep down deep, your mind would turn that release valve. You'd lose all steam, and nothing would come to mind. Nothing would happen, and you'd be safe and sound, ready to go deeper and deeper, perhaps responding to the next hypnotic suggestion even more deeply, because perhaps that one would feel even better, knowing that no matter what, your mind is very, very malleable, very, very adjustable, and there's no such thing as a hypnotic suggestion forever changing you in a way that's negative. No, no, no. Your mind is always open and focusing on the positive. So happy to let hypnotic suggestions always change you for the better, finding that each and every powerful, positive hypnotic suggestion lasts longer and longer and feels better and better. Each and every time you're hypnotized, it just feels more blissful and euphoric. You feel happy and positive about every single time you're hypnotized, every single time you let go of everything until nothing comes to mind. Each and every time you find yourself in this state, your fascination with it increases, letting it become a blissful, wondrous state where anything and everything is possible, where when you try to think of limitations, nothing comes to mind. That's right. No limitations, no limiting beliefs, no inhibitions, just what feels good as you go deeper and deeper into this state of mind. Deeper and deeper, feeling better and better, because it's just so wonderful when nothing comes to mind. That's right. You're doing so well, and I'm so proud of you. Really, you're making me smile. Good, good subject. That's right. No longer caring about how deep you go. You just want to go to that state of mind where nothing comes to mind. Feeling peaceful, feeling tranquil. That's right. You're doing it so well. such a good hypnotic subject. Realizing how wonderful and blissful it can be to be hypnotized, and finding that each and every next time you let yourself go into this state where nothing comes to mind, the experience is more wondrous, more peaceful, more tranquil, and more euphoric than the time before. Everything just clicks into place, and it happens faster and faster as you let yourself drop, 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 deep down deep, perhaps going so deep that when you try to remember exactly what happened, nothing comes to mind. All that matters is remembering how good you felt and how deep you dropped. Drop, drop, deep down deep, and then a bit deeper. Drop, drop, drop. That's it. And now in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and when I reach 5, you will wake up and open those eyes, feeling refreshed and rejuvenated, awake and alert. 1, drifting back up. 2, feeling more and more euphoric. 3, becoming aware of how deeply hypnotized you were. 4, and realizing how that's such a good thing. And 5, wake up and open those eyes, feeling refreshed and rejuvenated, awake and alert. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day. But if you're still here, I guess I better mention that I do have a Patreon page. There, you can find hundreds of exclusive recordings not available anywhere else. Please be sure to check it out. Oh, also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All of that stuff really does help this content reach more people in the algorithm. Well, I think that's all for today. Thanks again for listening. Bye.